You're listening to Talk Daredevil, the official podcast of the Save Daredevil campaign.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Talk Daredevil Podcast, the Daredevil podcast brought to you by the folks at the Save Daredevil campaign. We are officially at episode 20, and with such a nice round number, we figured this might be a really great time to bring you guys some campaign updates. Now, we know it's been a little while since we've talked at length about the campaign. Probably the last time we did this was actually with this same group, right before the moratorium ended. And I guess before I go any further, I'd like my fellow team members to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Ayesha.
Hi, I'm Kristina.
Welcome back, guys. All right, so we have a few things we want to talk about. We kind of wanted to give people the lay of the land as far as what's been going on in the fandom, in Marvel news, in the campaign itself, and just sort of give you guys some updates on like where we're at, what we're planning, what we've been talking about. If you do follow us on social media, you might have been hearing from us more often. If you're subscribed to our YouTube, we will occasionally post videos about campaign adjacent topics. But we're going to start off with something that we don't usually talk very much on the podcast, and that's going to be all the rumors right now that are flying around the fandom as far as is Daredevil returning to the MCU? Is Charlie Cox returning as Daredevil? And just to give our really quick take on it.
Yeah, so a big rumor that broke a while ago was Charlie Cox returning as Matt Murdock in Spider-Man 3. And in case you're wondering about the sources of all these rumors, we're going to drop those links in the show notes so you could look at them. This one was met with huge fan approval. Again, we haven't gotten anything official out of Marvel from this.
There were a few other rumors, one about the possibility of Charlie returning as Daredevil in the She-Hulk show, and also a rumor about Secret Invasion.
Again, we always are very particular about adding this disclaimer. All rumors, none of them have been officially verified. There was also a write-up, I believe, last week about maybe there is a solo project in the works. Now, what we find very interesting about all of this chatter is the fact that there is so much of it. Because originally, I think that the main rumor with Daredevil and Spider-Man 3 was the kind of the most popular one for the last 2 years of this campaign, right? Everyone was really hyped for that potentially being Matt's reintroduction to the MCU at large. We've known that Marvel Studios is working on all of these other projects for like Disney Plus and other movies. And, there are a lot of opportunities for Daredevil to show up. And it is very interesting that Daredevil keeps getting mentioned in different shows and different films. Now, whether that's just a reflection of fan appetite, in other words, fans just want to see him in as many things as possible, or if it is a little bit of smoke, and where there's smoke, usually there's fire, time will tell. We do talk at length about some of these things on our YouTube channel. We've had some live streams talking about like the Spider-Man 3, and we've mentioned She-Hulk in a few of our mini-sode episodes on that channel. And actually, most recently, Kevin Feige last week was doing the Television Critic Association press tour for Disney Plus, and he also answers some interesting questions about the potential reviving of the shows and bringing back the characters too. So we also have a live stream on that. So if you want to actually get more of our take on these things, you can go over there to our YouTube to rewatch or to listen. But as a campaign, our stance is still, until it's been verified, until it's been published in a trade, it's not going to be anything that we're going to take as gospel. But we do find that it's very positive seeing so many different options for Charlie to come back.
I think also something that's really exciting is to see fan reaction. Every time someone talks about it, fan reaction, there's just swell of people saying, yes, we want this to happen. We want this to happen. So even if these are just rumors and they turn out not to be true, Marvel really cannot ignore the fan outpouring that they want to see it happen.
And the Spider-Man thing, Spider-Man and DD have such a long history in the comics. And the fans love the idea of seeing those characters on screen. So even when the show was going on and Charlie would be at any con, he would inevitably be asked that question that, hey, what do you think? Do you think you'd like to be on one of these Avengers movies and with Spider-Man? And like even Charlie always got so excited about the prospect. So Spider-Man and Dee Dee is kind of like a natural fit as far as fans are concerned. So, the appetite that you talked about, that is definitely there for Dee Dee and Spidey to show up together at some point. So that rumor is the most exciting for fans. And I can totally understand that.
To jump off of what Kristina was saying about, actually what both of you were saying about the fans, Kevin Feige acknowledged the Daredevil fandom during the press tour. He specifically called out that there are legions of fans that are excited about the show, and a lot of the same fans are very excited to hear any bit of news about Charlie coming back. So we see this as a trend in the right direction, and we hope to see that build into real news and continue to build into the announcement of a solo project, which we'll go a little bit more into later on in this episode. But I guess at this point, I kind of want to shift gears just a little bit and talk about the current state of the campaign.
So where we're at right now is a lot of rumors. It seems like every time Kevin Feige is being interviewed about anything, somebody says, so Charlie Cox is Daredevil. So we're getting a lot of rumors and a lot of chatter, but we're really not getting any verifiable news. We're not getting anything from the trades. We're not getting anything from Marvel. We're not getting anything from any of the cast. That's not that unusual, though, because as we've seen in the past, sometimes the cast will flat out lie and say, what are you talking about? I wasn't cast in She-Hulk. So that's not really surprising. But yeah, so far, all of these rumors are just rumors. We have not seen anything verified from the press.
Also, this campaign, I can't believe it. This campaign has been around for over 2 years now. I feel like, 2018 was when we started, right?
Yeah, it's 2021 now.
Yeah, like before the show was even canceled, we were here. So, I've talked about this before. We've done a lot in these 2 years. And I feel like that the pushes that we've made over the last 2 years have been noticed by Marvel and Disney. I think so, because I know the fandom has noticed it, and we're being acknowledged in a sense that, yes, this legion of fans, yes, it does exist, and Daredevil has a large fan base, but at the same time, we want to make our messaging clear that we don't consider Daredevil saved with just a few cameos. We will only consider Daredevil saved if we can revive the show. So that's our end game. That's the goal that we're working towards.
We have been in sort of this weird holding pattern, essentially, right? Before the moratorium ended, we had a very clear timeline, 2 years. The character rights go back to Marvel and Disney. After those 2 years, it's up to Marvel and Disney to decide what they want to do. So we are kind of in that, we're playing that waiting game right now as far as waiting to see what Marvel and Disney do. Now, we know, historically speaking, Kevin Feige has things planned for years, right? So even if we don't hear about it right now, even if there's no specific press about it right now, and to be honest, for a lot of things relating to Marvel Studios and anything about Daredevil would fall under this, we just might never hear anything official until it's ready to come out. So I don't personally take lack of news to be anything other than this is just not the news they are deciding to run right now. Now, hopefully that means sometime in this year, maybe there will be more announcements from Feige and Marvel Studios and Disney proper. But, in the meantime, what we are going to keep doing, and which is what we've been doing this entire time, is we're going to keep reminding Feige, Disney, and Marvel of the Save Daredevil campaign. Save Daredevil isn't going anywhere. Like Ayesha said, we're going to continue to make the goal of reviving our show as a mature rated series and with the same cast front and center our main priority. But to sort of balance out with reality, we just know we don't have a lot of control over Marvel's timetable right now. We don't know what their plans are for how they might want to have Daredevil return. So we're kind of reading the tea leaves just like everybody else. We're also living through a pandemic like everyone else. So we're kind of dealing with it as it comes.
Yeah, I know there have been a lot of fans reaching out to us with some really great ideas for the campaign that simply aren't feasible right now because of the pandemic. Flooding the Marvel offices with letters is not going to work if there's no one in the Marvel offices. We don't want to make you feel like we're not listening. We absolutely are, but we have to keep the pandemic in mind while we think about our plans.
So, sometime in the spring, we're hoping to start the show request initiative to Hulu and Disney. We will have more details about it in one of our upcoming minisodes. I think that's what we're planning to do in the next few weeks.
Right. So, this is one of those things where it seems like a very common tool, like a Save Our Show campaign. You fled the streamer, the platform. In their show request form, you can put, I'm requesting Daredevil to be on the streamer. Now, in our case, it works out a little bit more easily for us because we know who we want to target. We want to target Disney. And Disney owns Disney Plus and Hulu. Now, obviously, you guys who know us know that we want a mature rated show, and you know that Hulu is our target for that. But that being said, Hulu is only available here in the United States. So in order to make this an accessible initiative for fans all over the world, especially our international fans, we're expanding the show request initiative to Hulu and Disney Plus. So as Ayesha said, sometime in the spring, probably late March, we're going to choose a date. We're going to have all the fans go to the websites, request Daredevil as the next show they want to see on Hulu and Disney Plus. Sam and I, who do partner up on the minisodes for our YouTube channel, will probably record some kind of how to request a show in your country video. So as far as details are concerned and specific dates, just continue to follow us online, and we'll be announcing that as soon as we can.
And the Disney Plus request does not mean that we're expecting the show to be on Disney Plus proper. It's because of the international aspect, because Disney Plus International also has a star component, which is more adult oriented. So that's the reason why we want to do both Hulu and Disney Plus.
Right, exactly. Star is essentially the adult Hulu for the global audience. Actually, Ayesha is in Canada, so she has access to Star. Kristina and I do not.
Yes, that's true.
We also have at least one more initiative that we're trying to work out the details on that hopefully will be very cool. It's something akin to, if you remember, when we sent the physical Save Daredevil boxes to Kevin Feige and Hulu and Disney execs, we kind of want to do something in that spirit, but fully online. So that's something we're sort of working on right now that we're hopefully going to be able to roll out in the spring. Details are light because we're still planning, but we want to think about ways like that to really get people's attention without having to worry about physical resources and getting things to physical places. So, hopefully, again, we're trying to take things as they come. So as far as news, if there's news that happens that kind of throws our plans off course, then so be it. Or if our real life just starts catching up with us, then, things might take a little bit later to come out. But we're going to do our best to be that engine that keeps driving those reminders for the fandom to the powers that be. Before we wrap up, I think it'd be interesting for us to maybe talk about what kind of news we might potentially hear. Because I think that's what a lot of fans are curious. And this is something we've discussed within the campaign, what might we hear and what might our reactions to that be?
I think something that everyone's talking about is, what if we get some official confirmation of one of these cameos? A cameo in Spider-Man 3, in She-Hulk, and Secret Invasion, in what have you. And our feeling is, if we get an official confirmation that Charlie Cox is returning as Matt Murdock / Daredevil in any of those properties, that is a fantastic first step. At that point, we are not saying, woohoo, we did it, we saved the show. That's not our end goal. We did not work this hard to get that actor, fantastic as he is, only in a cameo. That is not what we were looking for. However, we would definitely take that as a great sign that Marvel is not done with that character. And specifically, Marvel is not done with this actor's portrayal of that character. So that is something we might see in the trades. We're going to keep our eyes open.
There might also be, confirmation about maybe a solo project, a movie or a series on Disney Plus or Hulu. Again, that would be amazing. That's not the movie part. Movies, is just a possibility, but the series is what we are actually fighting for. And that is the goal of this campaign. Does that mean that the campaign is over if that happens? Personally, no, I don't think the campaign is over because I love this group of fans that I've gotten to know. The fandom Without Fear is amazing. You guys are my, family now, basically. Like, I'm not giving you guys up. So the same goes for the fandom Without Fear in large. So I'm sure my team members feel the same.
Oh, absolutely. We would love if the show got saved tomorrow.
Yeah.
That'd be great. It won't happen like that. But if it did, Save Daredevil will always be here in some capacity. We might not be called Save Daredevil anymore. We might be called Saved Daredevil.
Add that extra D.
Saved Daredevil. But yeah, there are so many possibilities. We just don't know what to expect this year. But I think we will know something. Obviously, we have to know something about Spider-Man 3 because that comes out at the end of 2021. So you know what? By December, we'll know if Charlie is back as Matt Murdock. Now, hopefully, we will know for sure before then. We don't know what the summer is going to look like. We don't know if we're going to have any of the big cons this year again, or if it's going to be a wash. We would love to see Marvel Studios hyping up the fans with some kind of big announcement for the Phase 4 or Phase 5. So we'll just have to see. Again, I think when Ayesha mentioned a solo movie, if we keep getting content dripped out for Daredevil, the hope will be that will escalate into a proper revival of the series. But time will tell. We're trying to prepare ourselves for sort of all eventualities. And it could be that we only get cameo news this year and we get series news next year. We just don't know. But we just hope to see Marvel willing to bring him back and willing to commit to Charlie as Matt Murdock and Daredevil for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, bottom line is we're not done. Pretty much every day, someone responds to one of my social posts with, "Why are you even pushing this anymore? It's already done." Everyone knows that Charlie is coming back as Daredevil. First of all, we don't know that. We have rumors. They are unverified. Secondly, like we said before, we did not put all of this effort into this campaign to get our boy a cameo. That is not the end of this campaign. And we're in it for the long haul. If we wind up saving the show, we're not willing to give up each other, and we're not willing to give up our love for the fandom and for the character and for the series. And something will continue. We will all still be there online reaching out to each other, definitely.
So to quickly sum up, the rumors are great. We still don't know what's going on, but it feels like it's going in a positive direction. Save Daredevil is planning initiatives. There will be some happening as soon as the spring. So make sure you are following us on our social media accounts. We are at Renew Daredevil on Twitter, and we are Save Daredevil everywhere else. Also, make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel, which is also Save Daredevil, because we have minisodes that talk about all of those rumors a little bit more at length, and we will be putting up a video before we roll out our show request initiative that will detail how we want everyone to participate. So yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up. Anything else we've missed, guys?
I think that's about it.
Great.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Yeah, everyone have a great day and keep on saving Daredevil.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Talk Daredevil, the official podcast of the Save Daredevil campaign. For more information on Save Daredevil, please visit our website at SaveDaredevil.com. Remember, Murdochs always get back up.